Hey everyone, I'm GeneralAndrews.
And I'm Sinister1, and we want to welcome you to the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Any Percent Co-op tutorial.
This is one of the best, if not the best, co-op speedrun games on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and we promise you, you will have a blast learning this game on your way to a sub 10 minute speedrun.
Let's get started. If you're already familiar with speedrunning this game, feel free to skip ahead to the route. Timestamps are in the description. Otherwise, if you are new to the game, let's learn some fundamentals. So let's talk characters. Chip is player 1 and Dale is player 2. They play exactly the same, but there are differences in responsibilities you should be familiar with. At the beginning of each scene, Chip spawns to the left and Dale spawns to the right. Because of this, Dale will fight all the bosses and will often be the lead character when it comes to navigating stages. Chip will assist by killing enemies and navigating the overworld map. In the beginner route of this speedrun, the responsibility balance is about 75% Dale and 25% Chip. So take this into consideration when deciding who is who. Speaking of which, I'm Sinister1 and I will be playing as Dale. Now I'm going to throw it to GeneralAndrews, who will be playing as Chip.
The basics. The gameplay and controls in this game are very easy and intuitive. Pressing A makes your character jump, and depending on how long you hold down the A button, the height of the jump can be controlled. If you're holding down and press A on certain ledges, you can drop through them. Pressing in the direction of an object and then pressing B will allow you to pick up objects, including boxes and even your own partner. Pressing B again will throw the object in the direction you are facing. If you want to throw something upward, you can hold up and then press B. Start allows you to skip text during cutscenes between stages and pause the game if you are in a stage. Note that you can buffer certain inputs, that means press and hold during a time you don't have control of your character in order to execute the desired action on the first frame possible. Select allows you to enter the inventory screen, which will display both characters' flower, star, and life counts. This will be important. Now that you know how to play, there is one more thing Sinister has to tell you about before you can start speedrunning: RNG manipulation.
Video games are typically programmed with a random number generator, or RNG, that will act to randomize certain events. Every now and then, there's a way to lock some of the random events so they're always the same, and fortunately, you can do that in this game by letting the demo roll before starting each attempt. By doing this, the boss and bonus stage RNG will be locked, allowing you to know what to expect every single run. Note that enemies and stages will not have set RNG, but some can be manipulated by your movement. Okay, time to get into the speed tech. So here's GeneralAndrews to talk about death abuse, ballooning, and damage boosts.
In one-player mode, when you die, you are sent back to the beginning of the screen you are on, or any other checkpoint. But in two-player mode, if one character dies and the other is still alive, the other one died will come back in balloon form. While you are in balloon form, your vertical movement is controlled by the game, but you can control your horizontal movement. You are invulnerable to enemies and can pass through objects, which makes several difficult sections very easy. To exit your balloon, simply press A. If you are ballooning long enough, the game will force you to exit, and this happens when you are inside an object and not in an open space. You will instantly die again. So be careful. The ballooning can be abused to save time in many places, and if timed correctly, both characters can be ballooning at the same time. The only rule is one of you must be on screen when the other dies. There is 2 seconds or 120 frame window after a character dies and is fully off screen prior to respawning in balloon form. Sometimes you can die by falling in a pit, but other times you will need to die by taking damage. You can damage boost in this game by facing the opposite direction of where you want to boost just before an enemy hits you. 3 hits and you'll die. We'll be showing you how to use 13 deaths throughout the run to save over 20 seconds over the single player run. Now you might be wondering, where are we going to get all these extra lives? And that leads us to our next section, where Sinister will talk about flowers, stars, and 1-ups.
There are lots of resources to obtain 1-ups in this game, and they can be put to excellent use in speedruns, most notably the flowers that are located everywhere throughout the game. Every 50 flowers either character collects will spawn a 1-up on the far left side of the screen towards the middle. The challenge is routing these to spawn in spots where one player can be at the far left of the screen to collect them. Pay attention to which flowers your characters get in the stage tutorials up to Zone F to ensure you get at least 2 extra lives. Or, if you want more lives, you can continue to pay attention afterwards, but the flower route does get trickier the further you go. If you don't want any buffer 1-ups, you can ignore flowers completely, and you will have just enough lives to complete the game if you don't have any unintentional deaths. Bonus stages contain a lot of goodies, including 5 flowers, 2 regular stars, and a 1-up star. Every 10 regular stars a character collects will result in a 1-up that thankfully goes right into your inventory instead of spawning on the left side of the screen. Finally, each bonus stage contains a 1-up located in the top row, middle box. The beginner route we are showing contains 12 available 1-ups, but you will only need to get 8 of them to complete the run if you have no unintentional deaths.
As with many NES games, too many sprites on the screen will cause lag, and having 2 characters to start puts you instantaneously at a disadvantage. To mitigate this lag, you will often use the carry your partner feature. Either character can pick up the other one by using the B button, and then press B again to throw them in the direction you are facing. Other lag reduction techniques when you're not carrying your friend will require you to kill enemies as soon as possible. Being in balloon form also reduces lag in some cases because your character's sprite is not using the walking animation, and it sits essentially in the background layer of the game. Finally, being off screen by jumping in certain sections that are near the top of the screen can also reduce lag.
All bosses are defeated after 5 hits from the red ball. The most important thing to learn is how to catch the ball once you have thrown it to hit the boss. By pressing B to throw the ball, and then repressing and holding B while the ball is in the air, you will automatically catch it when it makes contact with you again. Trying to catch the ball by timing your B press will get you hit more often than not, so get into the habit of holding B as the ball comes back to you.
There is a secret menu that allows you to instantly kill either character. We believe it was included to get out of situations where you can soft lock the game, of which there are many in co-op. To access the menu, press select, then A and B. A and B must be pressed on the exact same frame, or you will not access the secret menu at all. Once you have it up, you'll need to press right to move the cursor to yes. Then press A to be able to move to the next part of the menu. If the cursor is over Chip, press A to kill him, or press right to move the cursor to Dale, and then press A to kill him off. Now that you know how to get out of sticky situations without losing a run, let's talk about the route.
The main things you need to know for your route is who is dying where and who is getting which 1-ups. If you don't want to bother with the flower routing, which can be hard to remember at first, then just focus on the 9 1-ups you can get without grabbing a single flower. The 7 1-ups in the bonus stages, 10 stars for one of your characters, and the 1-up hidden at the end of Zone G's final screen. If you want to add some additional 1-ups for safety, pay attention to the flower routing so you will know where they spawn in the first screen of Zone F, Zone G bonus stage, and Zone I bonus stage.
After you let the demo screen roll, you can start your run. I prefer to let the chipmunks hit the ground before exiting the demo to ensure that the RNG is locked. Remember, as soon as you press start, you have to let go and repress it again to skip the first dialog box, then hold right.
Before the characters appear on screen, Dale should hold left. Dale can grab Chip by pressing B as soon as they collide and carry him to reduce lag for the majority of this screen. Head up top and follow this path as you approach the first climb section of the stage. As you arrive at the top of the climb, you will be able to get Zipper, who dispatches enemies and makes you invincible for a while. If you jump over Zipper's box and touch its left side as you are coming down, Zipper will last just long enough to kill the final robot dog before the second climb section. Get up to the top right ledge of the second climb, then jump and throw Chip to the final section while you fall to your first intentional death. Immediately buffer holding right, so when you return in your balloon, you will cruise through the rest of the screen.
Chip will need to avoid the first robotic rat and the electrical spark before dropping down and avoiding the next robotic rat. Grab the first box, which has a flower hidden inside it, then head right and wait for the next rat to pass above before jumping up to the middle section. Lastly, throw your box to kill the robot dog, which reduces lag, but be careful as you jump another electrical spark.
To open the second screen, Dale will grab Chip again and head up top. Once you drop down and avoid the rat, jump and throw Chip to the ledge and grab a steel box to stack so you can follow him up. Just be careful as you place it not to bonk yourself.
Take the top route with Chip, as Dale will follow via the bottom route.
Once your pal Monterey Jack bursts through the wall, you can enter your first boss fight. Dale can run up and grab the ball, and then hold up and press B to shoot it to the top where the enemy is vulnerable. Immediately hold B as the ball comes back down and you will catch it. Repeat this for 5 hits and you will be finished with the first stage. Once you get comfortable holding B to re-grab the ball, you can jump while holding B and catch it mid-air, then release B to throw it upward again and save some time.
You have reached the first of 7 bonus stages. Since you've performed RNG manipulation to start the game, the boxes will always contain the same items. The top row being regular star, 1-up, and another star, with all others being flowers. If you missed any flowers along the way, the bonus stages are a great place to make up for it. Make sure Dale is getting the regular stars so he can reach 10 of them for a 1-up eventually. Dale will collect the top row, and Chip can prepare for the next cutscene and map. As Chip, you are responsible for skipping all the cutscenes after each bonus stage, so be sure to hold start and the direction of the next zone as soon as you see the screen fade into black. You can release start once the cutscene is skipped, and release the D-pad once you are headed to the next zone. In the case of Zone B, hold left. Both players will need to take 2 damage boosts in this screen to set up a double balloon in the next. Dale will take the bottom route while Chip heads up top. As you start screen 2, make sure you bump against the box on your way up with Chip. If you do not delay your forward movement for at least 2 frames, you will die before Dale respawns and the double balloon will fail. Avoid the enemies and head straight for the faucet to take a death.
Dale will need to come out of his balloon between the final 2 pots. Let go of right when you're between them to stop your forward movement, and then press A to come out and head up and to the right.
Chip exits his balloon while descending towards the final knob, and then has to make a tight jump over the popper mouse. I like to use the 3rd line on the back of the wall for a visual cue of when to jump.
In the final screen, Dale will carry Chip. Make sure Dale stays on the left half of the first knob before jumping off to manipulate the buzz bomb down low. When you get to the end of the screen, throw Chip and he can grab the flowers, avoid the enemy, and then enter the boss door. In this boss fight, grab the ball, then jump over the nearby alien that drops, and throw the ball upward for the first hit. Since the boss pattern is locked, we know where the spaceship will come out from next, and this gives you an opportunity to catch the ball and throw it against the left side of the screen to land a second hit before the next cycle starts. Catch the ball once more, and then throw it left as the spaceship reappears, and it will bounce back right for hits 3 and 4. Finally, catch the ball on the right side and immediately throw it upward for the 5th and final hit, which will happen off screen.
In this bonus stage, Dale will get the top row. Don't forget to buffer start, down, and left as soon as the screen starts to fade to black. As you begin, Chip will grab Dale and carry him through the early part of the screen to reduce lag before throwing him and grabbing a box to kill the first Jack in the Box. Dale grabs a box to kill the second one and the 3rd enemy. Chip will grab a box to stun the first spinning enemy. These enemies cannot be killed. However, once they are stunned, you can pass through them without taking any damage. Grab one last box and stun the last one on your way to the door.
It's Dale's turn to carry now, and he will take the top route. You will have to make your jumps from precise spots to reduce lag and ensure you don't get hit by Foghorn Leghorn, so pay attention to where to jump from. Next, you will have to make a tight jump over the steel ball, so briefly release right before jumping over it. Finally, throw Chip to the on-off switch and wait on the box.
Chip will want to grab that last box beneath the final switch and use it to avoid the last steel ball. Dale should then get on the switch and face left before Chip hits the door. That way he will be facing left as soon as the next screen starts. For Chip, keep holding right so you will start the next screen heading into Dale's waiting arms.
Let Chip take a few steps and then tap all at once left, A, and B. You will jump and grab Chip and take the damage boost to pass the Jack-in-the-Box. Head right and then look for a good visual cue to hit this tight jump between the two enemies. Then jump and throw Chip just before the peak of your jump so he lands on the blue box and both of you can head to the top level and the boss room. This throw is very precise, so don't get frustrated if you miss.
When starting out, it can be helpful to hold right when Dale throws you. That way if you miss, you can still climb up faster. There will be a box in your path, so jump up and grab it. You will use it to kill an enemy and reduce lag by holding up and right, then pressing B when you get under it. After that, just head to the boss.
This boss fight is a bit tough and will take some practice. Try and get the first 3 hits by jumping, catching the ball midair, and then throwing it again. For the final 2 hits, get close to the boss as it comes towards you and throw the ball upward. If timed correctly, it should hit on the way up and on the way down. Sometimes you might actually get hit for the final damage and die in this fight. If that happens, but you still remain on screen, you actually won't lose a life.
In the bonus stage, it is Chip's turn to claim the 1-up in the top middle box, but be sure to let Dale grab those regular stars on either side of you. After you get your 1-up, buffer left to head to Zone F, and as always, press and hold start as soon as the screen fades to black. This next strat is a tricky one. So if you prefer an easier method, simply have Chip carry Dale until the falling balls section. If you are up for the challenge, give this a try. As you both enter the stage, hold right and head toward the first falling ball. Dale will turn left and Chip will push into him slightly. This will boost Dale to the other side. Be sure not to go too far with Chip or you will get hit too. Instead, turn back and go all the way to the left to make sure the screen doesn't scroll too far and Dale can get under the upcoming falling balls. Wait until you see Dale pass the 3rd box and start following him. Once you get under the very first falling ball as Chip, you are safe.
As Dale, when you navigate this section, your movement does have to be a bit precise. You can't hold right as you walk off the boxes in a few spots or you will fall into the pits. Instead, just briefly release right and repress it immediately to give you enough time to land on the edge and jump over the gap.
For those of you that are following the flower route, this section is where your 1-ups will spawn. Remember, Chip has to be fully at the back of the screen, so you will collect them as soon as they spawn. The easiest way to ensure your positioning is correct is to either take a hit from the first ball of the section, or to simply pause your forward movement for about a half a second, and Dale will scroll you to the back. If you don't get the 1-ups, don't worry. As we mentioned earlier, this is not mandatory for completing the run, but is pretty easy to set up and gives you some buffer lives to work with in case of unintentional deaths.
As you both enter the second screen, you will need to perform a double jump. So have Dale jump to the box and immediately jump again so Chip can get under him and jump. Once you land on Chip's head, jump again and you will be able to reach the next platform.
Once Dale jumps off your head, hold left to fall into the pit and enter balloon form. Buffer right so you can get out of Dale's way. As Dale navigates the rest of the platform section, you will follow him left toward the center of the screen where you can finally come out of your balloon form and immediately start your climb towards the door. In this bonus stage, Chip will once again claim the 1-up, while Dale takes the regular stars. Buffer down to head towards G, and as always, press and hold start as soon as the screen fades to black.
Alright, this is the calm before the storm. Zone G is all about taking the right route to avoid enemies. Immediately grab Chip and follow the path you see for the first 2 screens. In screen 2, when you jump at the enemy, it will look like you are going to get hit, but you won't as long as you don't do a full height jump. Go for around a 90% height jump, and that will manipulate him to fly overhead.
As you come to the end of the second screen, Dale will throw Chip into the bombs that block the door. As Dale, make sure you're fully under the bombs before throwing, or he might get stuck. As Chip, you have to hold left and you will clip through the bombs into the door. Don't release left until you enter the door and the screen starts to fade.
For the final screen, re-grab Chip, and as you get to the end, throw him up to the chandelier where the 1-up is hidden in the big box, and then go for the door. Make sure you jump into the door, because Dale spawns on top of a spike which will damage him. As the door transition starts, hold left, and that way you will be facing left and therefore boost toward the boss, which is an easy kill once you get your positioning right. So grab the ball, throw it up, and then turn a bit to the left so the chips he throws will miss you. Get the rest of your hits in, and you're done with Zone G.
In this bonus stage, Dale will collect all 3 boxes up top, gaining 2 1-ups in the process, as he should hit 10 stars here as well. If you forgot some stars in previous bonus stages, don't worry. You still have zones H and I to go. No need to buffer direction this time, just press and hold start once the screen fades to black, and you are headed towards outer space! And then back down to Earth. Now we head into one of the tougher stages of the run, so get ready. As Chip, you will get to the middle level and throw 2 boxes forward. Both crabs will be taken out, and Dale, who has taken the top route, can drop down without dealing with the enemies.
While you can jump over the next 2 crabs with precise movement, it's easier to just take them out with boxes as you see in the video. Start your climb and use the boxes to take care of the enemies on the way up. This climb is difficult and will take practice, so don't get frustrated. You have enough time, you have enough health. If you need to take damage, that's okay.
As Chip, you will need to take a death to start ballooning, but sometimes there could be a fake floor here, so always hold right as you enter the pit, and if you don't die right away, you will walk off an invisible floor and then die. You will need to come out of the balloon in a safe place like you see here, and then just wait for the final enemy to fly overhead before you move on. Dale will also be in balloon form as he is taking a death at the top of the climb section to cut the corner instead of going up and around.
The second screen is pretty straightforward and just has a slightly tight jump at the end. In this bonus stage, Dale will grab the 1-up again. Chip can buffer right and press and hold start once the screen fades to black. Okay, get ready for some more double ballooning action. Dale should grab Chip to start, and will need to take a damage boost off the first enemy, so walk right, then turn left, and immediately jump into him. Then head over and throw Chip once you are under the boxes. After Chip heads off the ledge, jump into the seagull to take damage, and jump over him while you have invincibility. Finally, turn around, and as you are landing from your jump, take the final hit to die, and start double ballooning past the fans.
After Dale dies, you will get to the edge of the screen in balloon form. Pay attention to how much you bump against the right side of the screen before you start moving forward again. If you time the deaths well enough, Chip will end up coming out near some boxes at the end of the screen. Visual confirmation comes when you get a no bump or sight bump. If you happen to get a heavy bump, Chip will need to come out of the balloon form early to avoid getting trapped inside the platform or box, which causes an instant death. For Dale, remember to die to the far right of the Pelican's hitbox. If you are not on the far right, Chip needs to come out of the balloon form early. For the second screen, Dale grabs Chip, but after summoning Monterey Jack. As you enter the final screen, just head up to the top to grab Zipper and make your way to the boss.
This boss fight can be done in 2 cycles, if your movement is clean. Grab the ball, but do not move even 1 pixel forward. Throw it right as the enemy hits this line in the wall, and then jump up and re-grab it. Get your second hit on the left side before heading back to the center for the third hit just before he breaks apart. After that, let him start moving right before the 4th hit, and you will have plenty of time to land the 5th and final hit.
If you are unsure of your life count after killing the boss, now is a good time to hit select and see what it is. Make sure both of you have at least 2 in reserve, and that way you know who should get the final bonus stage 1-up.
Alright, you have made it to Fat Cat's lair. This level can be especially challenging, but if you use your balloons right, it will get a whole lot easier and you can skip most of the hard sections. Grab Chip right away and then damage boost off the rhino before heading to the top conveyor. Jump over the next 2 rhinos, and then 2 more, and throw Chip as you approach the door.
Chip will grab Dale to start the final screen of the game and head up top to reduce some lag. You have one tight jump to get over the weasel, but if you get hit, it's not a problem, because you'll both be taking intentional deaths soon anyways. Throw Dale as you see here, and then follow him down. Once he takes his death, you have to use good timing to make sure you don't go off the conveyor belt too early and finish it with a well-timed small jump. This jump allows Chip to stay in balloon form just long enough to clear the 3rd lizard before coming out and climbing to the top. Navigate the top floor access section and set up for another double death to balloon to Fat Cat's door. This time Chip will die first by walking into the pit. Dale will take a damage boost off of the first weasel's plunger and then run forward until Chip spawns. At that point, hold down right and press A to drop through the conveyor belt floor. Then balloon to the end where Dale, because he spawns further right, will come out and enter the door.
As you fight Fat Cat, the plan is simple. Grab the ball and head right just a few steps to the safe spot, out of the way of his ashes. Then throw the ball upward immediately and get the rest of your hits in. It's easiest to stay on the ground as you will be completely invulnerable, but as you get more comfortable with the fight, you can jump to catch the ball and re-throw it mid-air to save some time.
Now for a bonus version of J that takes up to 4 seconds, but is advanced. You must have 3 lives each for this to work. Do the first screen just like normal. Except at the end, when Dale throws Chip, he will let go of right and fall into the pit. This will allow him to balloon past all the enemies at the start of screen 2. Chip will take the bottom route to avoid most of the weasels, jumping up and over the last one before going off the edge of the conveyor belt. Try to be as fast as you can to get close to Dale. If you are too far behind, this strat won't work at all.
Dale can come out on the axe for a damage boost and then jump the next axe. Perform a quick right-left mid-air wiggle after jumping the final axe to make it easier to jump the first lizard. Then take your next damage boost off the 2 lizards. After that, grab a box and fire it at the next lizard by pressing and holding A and B at the same time. His hat will connect and set you up to balloon.
As Chip gets the edge of the screen, you can start moving upwards. The top lizard will despawn, leaving an open path to head up and right. Use a max height jump to bonk your head on the boxes, before falling through the floor and taking a death. Now both chipmunks can balloon the rest of the way. Take the final few deaths in the spots you see here to ensure you get a good angle to the boss door, and then fight Fat Cat as normal.
And that's the run. You've defeated Fat Cat, and with some practice, you will break the 10-minute barrier. If you find these strats too easy, you can check out some of the runs on speedrun.com, link in the description, and try to implement them. Just keep in mind that most of the harder strats require more deaths, which means you have to get really good with the flower route. And make sure that Dale gets 150 flowers and Chip gets to 100 so you can collect 5 extra lives. We're linking a copy of the routing spreadsheet that makes it easier to track flowers, stars, lives, and intentional deaths. All you have to do is put in the numbers, and the sheet will automatically calculate the sum totals for each stage. Let us know your questions in the comments below, and we'll see you around the streams.